I'm also good. Okay, tell me about yourself. I'm more interested in your technical side.
Okay, so I have around 2 years of experience into React. I have worked majorly on the banking domain and then health domain as well. And in my career, along with React, I have used HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, Redux, and other supporting web technologies.
Okay, nice. In this interview, first we will have discussion over HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and React. After that, we'll have a coding round as well. So, shall we start?
Yeah, sure, please.
What is DOM?
DOM basically it stands for Document Object Model, and it is it's just a structure of the page. It has different nodes and different elements. Yeah, that's what DOM is.
What are the differences between absolute and relative position?
These two are basically your CSS positions. Absolute is when your element is placed absolutely. Uh, uh, so there should be a relative parent, and to that absolute element is placed. That is absolute, and relative element is placed relatively to its uh, actual position. So basically, absolute element should have a relative parent element. That is the main difference.
Okay. What are closures in JavaScript?
Closures, basically, they are the functions which can access the parent environment data. So let's say we have a function and there is some variable defined outside of that function. Then if then the function can access that variable which is outside of that function. So this is a closure.
Differentiate ES5 and ES6.
ES5 stands for ECMAScript 5 and ES6 stands for ECMAScript 6. The main and the major differences are ES6 has introduced new keywords let and const. Previously in ES5 we only had the var keyword, and then ES6 has introduced arrow functions and destructuring as well. So these are the main features of ES6 which are really useful while building the applications.
Okay. What are different methods of add?
There are so many methods of array. There is filter, there is for each, there is map, reduce. These are the four methods which I use most of the times.
Okay, now differentiate for each and map methods of adding.
Map basically returns the value, whereas for each does not return anything. So these two methods works quite similarly, but the only difference is what I told, that map returns the result or the value, whereas for each does not.
Okay. Tell me which version of React you have used.
I mostly use 16.8.
Okay, which components are better, class or functional, and why?
Functional components are much better than the class components because in functional components you can write cleaner code. With the introduction of hooks, it allows us to write, uh, basically club the similar code into a single hook. So, for example, use effect hook provides us to write some side breaks, not side break, it is called side effects. and it mimics the component did mount, component did update, and component will unmount. So you can club the logic for all these three lifecycle hooks into a single hook. So that's why it is better, and it's better to read the code as well with the functional components because they are so lighter than the class component.
Differentiate use memo versus use callback.
These two are the hooks of React which you can use on the functional component. Use memo memoize the value. Basically, it keeps a track of the last computed value, and whenever the dependency of its array changes, instead of recalculating the entire logic, it returns the memoize value. And use callback is so your functions which you are passing to the child component are wrapped into use callback. With that, it avoids the re-rendering.
Okay, how to pass data from child to parent component in React?
Child to parent data passing is most of the times it is tricky, but there are ways to do it. Like we can write callback in the parent component and pass that to the child, and whenever required, we can pass the value back to the parent from child. Then we can create some ref or something. But the ideal way is to always pass the data from parent to child. Uh, Wherever it makes sense, we should lift the state up to the parent component so that we do not need to pass this data from child to parent.
How to make application performant?
It totally depends on the use case. So let's say if you are using a list of items, if you are entering list of item on the screen and it's a use list, then it's better to use infinite scrolling instead of displaying all the items in a one go. If you're using some image, then get the image in low resolution in the form of thumbnail, and then whenever user clicks it, get the actual image. So that will make it performant, and also we can use lazy loading and functional components.
What are different life cycle methods of React?
So there are three phases basically: mounting, updating, and unmounting. There we have constructor, then the render method, get drive straight from probes, then component did mount, then component did update, should component update, get snapshot before update, and component will unmount.
Differentiate context API and Redux.
Redux is a state manager. It sits at the top of your application and knows a lot about your application state. Any component in the React can access the data from Redux via actions or reducers, or you can get a slice of any state from the Redux because it has a single store. Context API has two parts in it. One is the provider and second is the consumer. We can provide the data at the top of the application, and then any component which is a consumer can consume the data. Basically, it is used for the authentication purposes.
What are actions and reducers in Redux?
Actions are plain JavaScript object which has a type of action and then some payload. And reducers are the only way to update the store.
Okay, now let's have a coding round also. Please open Code Sandbox and share your screen.
Okay. I'm opening the code sandbox. Just give me a minute.
Okay.
Let me store my name in a string called name. And I want to remove the duplicates from it. So I can use the set, right? Split and here const result to this. And let's try to print it. ReH. Okay, so the duplicates are removed.
Okay, I have shared your API link. Please open it and print names of all users by using React. I am sharing the link.
I got the link. Let me open it. Okay, you want me to print the name of all the users that's inside the company and then name. Okay, so let me create a sandbox for React first. Okay, so for that, I'm going to need React, and I need two hooks. One is use state, one is use effect. Now I'll write use state here. Initial value would be null, and I'm also going to write a use effect. Okay, to call the API, I need Axios. Add dependency. And here I pass empty array so that it gets called only first name. Axios dot get. I paste the API here. Let me make it bigger. Then response. And now whatever response I get, I will set that to the users. And in case of any error, I'll simply log that out. And here to print the data, I'm going to write. But first of all, let's check what inside the. Okay, so here I'm going to write users and users. So this checks if users are present. Then does not map user. We create a div. Here I'm going to write user dot company name. Say syntax error. This what we talk on. Line number 78 is saying some unexpected or unexpected, comma. So okay, so now we can see the names of all the users.
Okay. It was nice talking to you. I will share my feedback with HR and she will let you know. Okay with that?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Thanks. Have a nice day.
You too. Thank you.